This is a quick look at a news gathering platform I've been working on. This is the video gathering part of it. It basically lets me author a set of questions. And in this case, I gave it one question up front. Do you have any pets? And then I have AI instructed to produce additional questions based on the user's response. So it's pretty simple. I can record an answer. It'll give me a countdown, and I can just start talking. And then when I'm done recording, I can stop. I can also pause it and pick back up by resuming, during the answer. The question is down here at the bottom. Do you have any pets? I can hide that if I want and bring it back. And when I think I've answered the question, I can hit stop recording. Just start talking. And then when I'm done recording, and that gives me a playback. And at that point, if I want to, I can submit that answer and continue to the next, or I can retake the answer. So it's pretty simple. It's all based on an email invitation. They get the invitation, they click a link, it immediately emails them a second, two-factor code, just a 6-digit code that they can put in to validate that they're the person who received the email, and then they answer the questions. So I'm going to run through this real quick, answer these questions, and then we'll see how the AI generates follow-ups. And also the next phase is I can use this to build an automated documentary. So I'm going to just start recording answer. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have one pet. It's a betta fish. His name is Finley O'Brien. Yes, I have one pet. It's a betta fish. His name is Finley O'Brien. Okay, so at that point, I can continue, and I'll just submit this answer. And now the AI is generating another question, preparing your next question. This will take a second or two. So the next question is, what makes Finley O'Brien such a memorable pet? So it took the frame of reference from that first question, gave it to an AI, and came back with a follow-up question. I can do this as many times as I want. I can tell it which previous questions I want to refer to and which I don't, and give it instructions to make the questions interesting, things like that. So these are pretty basic, so I'll record an answer. Finley, I think, is special. I like the way he comes up to the edge of his tank when we enter the room. He kind of waves his fins around, and he's also very brightly colored. Finley, I think, is special. Okay, so I'm just going to submit that. He comes up to the edge of his tank when we enter the room. He kind of waves his fins around, and he's also... Okay. The next question is, what have you learned about caring for Finley and that you didn't expect when you first got him? Well, we had never had a betta fish before, and I was surprised at really how easy they are to take care of compared to other pets like dogs and cats. Well, we had never had a betta fish before. Okay, so when I submit that answer, that's going to submit it to my system, and then I'll be able to go out and pull the interview down, harvest it, and I can use that in a documentary. So this is where it gets kind of interesting. Now we're going to use this AI-driven documentary builder tool to take our video and convert it into a AI generated documentary. We have a couple of formats. We can use a hosted podcast, or more of a montage where it just tells the story using the actual clips from the interview. We're going to use the hosted podcast format in this case. I have some predefined hosts. I'm going to choose two for this. I'm going to use Carson and Caroline, and they both have their personalities defined up front. They have an avatar assigned to them and a Cartesia voice. I'm going to hit continue, and I'll choose the interview that we just generated, which is this pets interview. And I can use any combination of any of the clips that it collected. I'm going to use all three for this. I'll continue from there. And I'm going to name my podcast. I'll just call it the Pet Podcast. And I can use whatever LLM model I want to. I'm going to use GPT 5.6 Luna for this. We'll make it maybe 3 minutes long for the podcast. Let's generate production audio, and that will actually access the Cartesian model to generate the audio files. I'm going to just create local video mockups, and in this case, it'll just do a still frame for each of the hosts so that we're sure that we like the audio before we generate the actual video. And I'm not going to put in any special instructions in here. I could give it additional instructions, but this basically just has some hosted podcast instructions built into it. So I'll just say generate editable podcast, and it's going to go through and do its thing and create that. It'll take a few minutes. I'm going to pause it. But when we come back, we should have everything loaded up in this video editor and ready to preview. Okay, so yeah, that pulled in everything and generated the audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips. 3 of them are, our interview video. I'll just play a little bit of it.
Welcome to the Pet Podcast, where even the smallest pets can have the biggest personalities.
So if I want to change anything about it, if I want to change any part of their scripts or, reorganize video, remove clips, add new clips, that kind of thing, I can do that. This has a pretty basic but functional video editor built into it. I can also generate graphics. So if I want to fold this back up, I'll go to suggest slides, and I'll ask it for slides on all 7 clips. It won't do that. It'll identify the best slides that it thinks will fit this interview and generate those. So I'm just going to say suggest, and it's going to go through and generate slides for me. So it just automatically adds those slides to the timeline, and I can go and... So this is the first one. He comes up to the edge of his tank when we enter the room. If I want to tweak those, if I want to, edit them so that they appear in the proper place in the audio, I can do that. But, basically generated 3 slides for me. I can also go in and edit these if I want to. Everything in here is editable. So if I want to edit that slide, I can do that right here. So I can change it to a different type of slide. If I want a full screen or whatever, I can do that. I can, change the text, the headline, source notes, things like that. So at this point, I'm going to do a rough export. I'll just click export up here. I do have some video settings. If I want to change, kind of the appearance of those slides, I can do that here. If I want to put in a different accent color, I could do that. I can also determine whether or not I want to include captions, and I'll go ahead and include captions. Captions are just the subtitles that will appear at the bottom, and each word highlights as the user speaks. So I'll start with these settings. I'm just going to export video, and I'll pause it a second while it exports. So it's almost done. It gives me kind of a high-speed preview, as it renders and exports everything. It stitches the clips together, and we'll end up with an MP4 file that we can use for anything. Okay, and here's our MP4. I can maximize that and play it.
Welcome to the Pet Podcast, where even the smallest pets can have the biggest personalities. Today, we're meeting Finley O'Brien, a betta fish who apparently knows how to make an entrance.
Yes, I have one pet. It's a betta fish. Okay, so from there, obviously the next step would be to get our avatars looking like more like real people with a lip-synced avatar. So I'm going to exit this, and let's just start with this first clip. I'm going to go into clip settings, and I'm going to say generate Hedra video, and that's going to automatically generate the video for this avatar. So for example, that clip was an 11-second clip. It cost about 55 cents. I think it's around 6 cents a minute to do it, but here's the rendered clip.
Welcome to the Pet Podcast, where even the smallest pets can have the biggest personalities.
Okay, so basically I would go through and do that for each of the remaining host clips. Okay, so at this point, all of the clips have been rendered using Hedra. So I'm just going to do an export, and I'll leave my settings as they were before. And I'll just say export video, and this is going to start a new export for me. Okay, and that finished, and I'll play it through.
Welcome to the Pet Podcast, where even the smallest pets can have the biggest personalities. Today, we're meeting Finley O'Brien, a betta fish who apparently knows how to make an entrance.
Yes, I have one pet. It's a betta fish. His name is Finley O'Brien.
Now, a fish named Finley O'Brien already sounds like he has a story to tell. But what makes him memorable? Well, according to Stephen, it's not just the name.
Finley, I think, is special. I like the way he comes up to the edge of his tank when we enter the room. He kind of waves his fins around, and he's also very brightly colored.
A fish that swims to the front of the tank to greet you? That's either charming or an exceptionally effective request for snacks. And Finley has another advantage. He doesn't require the same level of care as a dog or a cat.
Well, we had never had a betta fish before, and I was surprised at really how easy they are to take care of compared to other pets like dogs and cats.
So there you have it. One fish, one tank, a little fin waving, and plenty of personality. Finley O'Brien may be small, but he has clearly made himself memorable.
Okay, so, and that was basically AI generated. The script, the editing, the graphics. At this point, I can go in and kind of put my own personal touches on it. I can change the script around if I want to, but start to finish, this was really generated by AI.